What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode number 59 today of the My Player Career Mode. Thank you all for your support on the last episode. Really appreciate it, guys. We're going to jump into today's episode. We've got 5 games to come ahead of the usual 4 that we play. But unfortunately, guys, as you can see, the red card that Ben did actually pick up in the last episode was not overturned, and it is going to count. So, Athletico against Real Madrid here, and this could be detrimental to Real Madrid. If you remember, I was saying, can they go a full season unbeaten? And if they can't, it might be because of this game here, with the fact that Ben picked up the red card. So we're going to sim it regardless, guys, because of course we have no choice. And it is a very good side that's still in the team for Real Madrid. And Griezmann actually gave Athletico the lead. However, Gareth got us back on level terms. And we moved into the second half. It was 1-1. And as I was saying to you guys, at that stage I was thinking I'd take a draw. It means we're still undefeated. And Mitchell Weiser actually gave Madrid the lead before Griezmann scored an 89th minute equaliser. So the important thing to remember is that they didn't lose. So it still means that Real Madrid are still undefeated in the league and still can have that fully unbeaten season in the league if possible. So although it could have been detrimental, it wasn't quite that bad. It still stayed the same way that I would have hoped it would have gone. So yeah, not too much to worry about there. So for that, though, it's just 1 game suspension for Ben, nothing else, because he only picked up 2 yellow cards, of course. And I did review the challenge of last episode. I know I said to you all that I felt it was a harsh yellow card to give, but looking back at it, I have no quarrels at all. I looked at the challenge, I was like, it's incredibly late, and although there's not much contact in there, it's still a definite yellow card, So I can't really say that it isn't, because I would be lying to you all. So that is, of course, I guess a justified punishment is the 1 game ban for Ben. But moving into this next game, guys, it's going to be the first one of today's episode. And they're taking on Valencia here in this Copa de España second leg. And if you remember, after the first leg, it's all square. It's a 1-1 draw at the moment. So whichever side ends up winning this game here will move forward in the Copa de España. And if you remember from last season, Ben hasn't even got to a final of the Copa de España yet. He's got to still win it, and that will be one of these other trophies that he needs to win in Spain to then, I guess, get domination here. But the side from Valencia actually has a decent side. They've got Quincy Promes in the side. They've got, I think, Leon Bailey as well is in there. They've got a very good squad here, Valencia. Sanabria up front as well. It's a nice squad they've got and they've built themselves. So I'm a little bit worried about it, to be honest with you. But the first chance actually went the way of the home side. Quincy Promes with it. Great strike, but a decent stop from Rico. And he pushed it into an area where you maybe thought Valencia was going to get on the end of it. But luckily for us, it didn't happen and we managed to deal with the danger. But that didn't stop it, because Valencia were the miles better side in the opening 30 minutes. Zaza with the latest of the chances. And he really should have put the home side up 1-0. But he didn't, because he couldn't find the back of the net. Couldn't even find the target. He hit it wide of the post. As we move into the second half now, we started to get ourselves in the game a little bit. Ben especially finding some space here. You can see unleashes the right-footed shot, but unfortunately for him, the keeper was equal to it and made a very good stop down low. And we move into the last kind of 35 minutes or so. Again, Ben just looking to try and work something for Real Madrid here. It's great work here as he cuts it back onto the left. Aubameyang makes a great run straight through the middle of the defence. Ben picks him out, and the Gabon international makes the score 1-0 to the visitors. And looking at the game, if you take it from the first half, Valencia were the better side. Taking it from the second is completely swapped. Football is a real game of 2 halves in this particular game as well. And Real Madrid, who didn't have the greatest of first halves, maybe could have been 1-0 down, have actually taken the lead in this one. So Valencia, what have you got to come back at Madrid with? Because at this stage, I felt kind of harsh for them. They did play quite well in the first half and maybe could have gone into that, the break 1-0 up, but they didn't. So, it's one of those situations. They matched us pound for pound in the first game. They arguably matched us in the first half here. And when Ben got through again to make it 2-0, unfortunately couldn't do it, but it is going to be Marcus Rashford on the rebound to make the score 2-0. It's pretty much game over from here on out for Valencia. 20 minutes to go, 3-1 lead for Madrid on aggregate. They should be now heading through to the next round of the Copa de España. But again, you look at this game, they quite easily could have been 1-0 up in the first half. So you have to say they did play well enough in the first half, just not quite up to scratch in the second. It's great play from Rashford, actually, because he's still got a lot of work to do there when that ball finds him in that space. So you can't really say it's an easy chance, but he took it very well indeed, and that's why Madrid are heading through to the round of 16 now of the Copa de España if it stays as it is. And luckily for them, you're about to see it does stay as it is, because the referee brought the game to a close. A 2-0 victory for Madrid here, 3-1 aggregate win. It's job done from them, and it's nice to have Ben back as well. Setting up the first one and arguably heavily involved in the second with a great turn before unleashing his shot, which fell to Marcus Rashford, of course. But it was actually Aubameyang with the man of the match performance there. So Yeah, Ben doesn't pick it up, but it will be Aubameyang getting it as well. Now, guys, remember, around this time last year, in terms of the season, not of course in real life, in terms of like January when you get into that, that is when the player of the year is actually announced. So at the end of today's episode, we will find out who is going to be player of the year. Can Ben win back-to-back player of the year titles, or are we going to see maybe what you could call, I guess, a ridiculous decision and it go elsewhere? What do you guys think? In the comments, without spoiling it, without going and looking, what do you guys think? Of course, if you've already watched the entire episode, you will know who wins Player of the Year because it's right at the end of today's episode. But if you're watching now, when we were like 5 minutes into the episode, I want you guys to leave a comment right now, 5 minutes in. Do you think Ben deserves to win back-to-back Player of the Years, or do you think he hasn't quite done enough in order to get back-to-back? Do you think it should go elsewhere? Now, of course, you got to look at it and say, he won a La Liga trophy. He won the Champions League last year. He was instrumental in that Champions League win as well. He scored the opening goal in that one against Chelsea. So, I mean, you got to look at it and say he has arguably put up a really good case to have back-to-back, you know, I guess, Player of the Year titles. So, whether or not he's going to be able to do it, I guess we'll have to wait and find out later on today. But if you don't want to spoil it, guys, then, of course, don't skip to the end. But if you do want to know, then you can skip and come back. It's entirely up to you guys. But I want you guys to leave that comment. Do you think Ben deserves it, or should it go elsewhere this time around? 29 minutes into the second game, it was actually Valencia again for this one. This time in the league, they're looking for revenge after we knocked them out of the Copa de España. But it didn't start off great because a great move from Madrid set up Gareth Bale after Ben squared it straight to him. It's his iconic celebration with a heart, and it is Real Madrid 1, Valencia 0. Good play from, I think it was Aubameyang actually, or Rashford, one of the two of them. In fact, no, I think Aubameyang played it to Rashford, and then Rashford played it to Ben. I was about to say it was the other way around, but it wasn't. It was Aubameyang to Rashford, Rashford to Ben, Ben to Bale. It's a goal. So it's typical Real Madrid. 4 passes, and they're scoring from that. Valencia really didn't stand a chance defensively there, to be honest with you. So, yeah, disappointing from them because they gave the ball away again here, and Aubameyang gets through, gets brought down. Now, this is a very weird spot kick because I looked at this and I thought, you know what, he's still got his shot away. So it's not like he wasn't able to shoot Aubameyang. Now, if you're looking at it from this angle, there really isn't too much in that at all. I don't feel that that is a penalty kick. I feel Valencia very, very harshly done by the referee. I can't say if I was a ref that I'd have given that one. I just feel like that wasn't really too much in that, to be fair. So on the stroke of half-time, it was pretty much justified that Aubameyang did miss the penalty. It was well saved by the goalkeeper. You have to give him major credit for it. It's not like Aubameyang completely missed the target. It was very well saved. But now that adds to a long list of missed penalties by Real Madrid because there's quite a few players at the moment who seem to be missing. Ronaldo, Aubameyang starting to miss penalties, but someone who doesn't miss is that young man. Ben, on your screen, what a finish this is. Gets a lot of luck there, as you can see, as he turns that man in the middle. But then after that, it's just sheer quality. Curling a left-footed strike past the goalkeeper. He's got 2 players of his own to beat there as well. Just about manages to squeeze it through the middle of them both, and the keeper can't get near to it. Valencia 0, Real Madrid 2. And it is Ben with the latest of the 2 as well. But Valencia, they created opportunities. Zaza, who missed one in that Copa de España tie, finding Sanabria here, who's curling right-footed shot. He's just inches wide of finding that top corner there to bring the game back to, I guess, a competitive one. But sadly for Valencia, he couldn't do it. And Real Madrid did, in fact, win again by 2-0. Very much like the opening game of today's episode in the Copa de España. It's a like-for-like performance here in this one. So you can see Zidane happy with his team, happy with himself. Some of the boys there congratulating themselves, and of course, you know, commiserations to Valencia. But over the 2 games, they just didn't have enough, and you can see Ben very happy with himself as well. But there's one major issue that's coming up now, guys, and that is penalty takers. Why are they not allowing them to experiment with the penalty takers? Like, you know, we had Ronaldo, he missed penalties. He was arguably the best penalty kick taker at the club, but he kept missing. He was taken off the spot kicks. It went to Isco for one of them. He scored. Then, for some reason, as soon as Aubameyang comes back into the side, he's taken the spot kicks, but I think he's missed a couple now. So, you know, there's got to have a little talk at Real Madrid and decide who is going to take the spot kicks. Who is the man to take the penalty kicks? Not only that, who is the man to take the free kicks? Because right now, it looks like they don't know that either, because they've had Bale on a few, they've had Kovacic on a couple, they've had Aubameyang on one as well. Ben hasn't had the chance to showcase what he can do from free kicks or penalties because he's not given the opportunity by Real Madrid. So I am a little bit kind of annoyed with that one, if you understand my drift with that one. So I'm hoping that Real Madrid will allow them to have a little bit of an experiment where they might see how Ben gets on if he takes a penalty, how he gets on if he takes a free kick maybe in the future. But for now, it seems like they don't actually know who their designated penalty kick taker is and who their designated free kick taker is, because it seems like they're having just different players in it all the time. So slightly disappointing. But moving forward, you can see we did actually have a sim game against Dortmund there. Ben wasn't picked because it was the last game in the group stage and Real Madrid had already got through as group winners. So Zidane decided that he didn't need him to start the game, and so they decided that they would play it without him. And he actually ended up winning, or Real Madrid ended up winning. You can see how the groups panned out, and that is how the draw currently looks. For Madrid, it's a dream draw. They've got Ajax in the next round, which, of course, if you look at it like that, out of all the teams they could have drawn in this Champions League round of 16, the only other one that I maybe would have thought, yes, I would take would maybe be Wolfsburg. So it was between Ajax and Wolfsburg. I was looking at that one and thinking I'll take either of those two guys. And luckily, they pulled Ajax. So it's not going to be easy because Ajax certainly have, the capabilities to cause an upset. But out of all the teams they probably could have got, Ajax maybe isn't the worst of the lot. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that draw for them in the round of 16. We'll see if they can get through. If they do, of course, it's going to get harder from there on out. Of course, any team that is in the round and the knockout rounds from this stage are good enough to be there, so they can beat you on their given day. So you can't really take anything for granted. It's still going to be tough as well. But as we go into game 3, guys, as I said about the designated free kick and penalty takers, maybe we'll see it in this game. Maybe we'll see them allowing Ben to take a free kick every now and then, or maybe a penalty. I think, personally, if they don't know who it should be, they should give it to the player who wins it. If someone wins a free kick on the edge of the area and you haven't got a designated free kick taker, give it to the person who wins it. If someone wins a penalty, give it to the person who wins that penalty, Instead of having your designated person take it, who at the moment is nobody because you don't know who it is, then I personally think it should be the player who wins it. Anyway, so that's my kind of outlook on it if you haven't got one decided. But personally speaking, I feel like Ben should be given the opportunity to do it. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you guys think anyways, because I know a few of you guys have wanted Ben to take some free kicks and penalties recently, but hasn't had the opportunity to do so. So into game 3 we go. It is Athletic Bilbao, the team that kind of, I guess, were the closest in terms of the title challengers last season, along with Athletico Madrid. This time around, they're not doing so hotly as they did last year. They're still up there, but they're not quite as good as they were last year. Of course, they matched Real Madrid pound for pound in the opening kind of 10 games or something like that. They had a chance in the first few minutes of this one, but they then went 1-0 down 7 minutes in, because when you got Ben on your side, when you got this capability to just play 1-2s when one-touch football across the board, he gets it back from Aubameyang. He's got 3 defenders around him, says, you know what? I don't really care. Ball roll, left-footed strike, 1-0. Easy as you like. Bilbao 0, Real Madrid 1. I have to admit, looking at this game, their side is not one that I would consider to be title challengers, but for some reason it just clicks. Bilbao's team just clicks, and that's why they had a good season last year, and that's probably why they will be up there again this year. They've got Troy Deeney up front, who's captain in the side as well, not something that I thought I would see. So for Bilbao, they still can come back in this game, but 31 minutes in, you're looking at the way Real Madrid are playing right now, and when they're playing one-touch football like that, there's every chance that this is going to go to 2-3-0 possibly. And into the second half we go. Gareth Bale. Again, there's absolutely nothing in this penalty kick whatsoever. It is a stupid decision by the referee. In my eyes, it's a wrong decision by the referee. I have no words. I feel like Real Madrid are getting the luck that they need right now with these decisions coming in. But once again, who's going to take this one? That is the question mark around this penalty kick, because you saw Aubameyang miss one earlier on in the episode. He is going to take this one as well. I thought when I saw Isco coming on that he might be taking this, but nope, it is Aubameyang to step up. His run-up is really, really kind of crazy. I don't know what he's doing there. And he ends up missing again. The keeper saves it yet again. So, it's one of them things. He's missed 2 now. Is it time to give somebody else a chance? 75 minutes in, I thought Athletic Bilbao were going to get themselves back on level terms there, as Ben gave the ball away cheaply in the centre of the park. He didn't really need to do that, and it was arguably a very, very poor decision from him. As we go into the 90th minute, it looks like it's going to be Madrid picking up the 3 points until Bilbao turned into, like, Barcelona and just played some unbelievable one-touch stuff before Troy Deeney curls one into the bottom corner of the goal to make the score 1-1. With, literally 1 minute to go, I just kind of felt like I have no words for what has just happened there. When you lose your concentration, if you get opened up like that, it's not good enough. But hang on a second, guys, because 90 minutes on the clock, all of a sudden, the referee didn't blow his whistle, There's still more time for one more chance. Gareth Bale to Rashford. Rashford to Ben. He's through one-on-one. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Like, you know, he's arguably one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world, and yet he's missed what is one of the easier chances he's probably going to have in his career. So, in many ways, it shows you that he's human, but then straight from that one, it's a chance to win the game for his team, and he does that. So, I have kind of, I guess, no words for what has just happened there. Like, you saw it. It was completely through. There was no defender near him. He's one-on-one with a keeper. There's no reason why he shouldn't be hitting the target there, and somehow he got it all wrong and put it wide of the post. I mean, yeah, I just don't know what happened. But you saw last episode, after the El Clasico, that Real Madrid were actually 7 or 10 points clear or something like that? It's down to 3. The results in today's episode, with a draw there against Bilbao, with a draw against Athletico Madrid, the gap now is down to 3. So I guess Real Madrid need to improve and try and get some wins on the board again to try and open that gap back up. There's no better way to do it than going and having a home game here against Malaga. Now, again, they're still unbeaten, so they still have the chance at the unbeaten season. You can see after 15 games have been played, they are still top by 3 points. So after this game, it'll go to 16. We're 3 away from the halfway stage, and we'll still be unbeaten if we can, of course, win this game or draw the game and then do the other 3 as well. So there is still that chance for unbeaten season. And I think if we could get one with Ben, that would be an unbelievable way as well to just mark himself as a legend of the game. You know, his uncle never had it, never got an unbeaten season. But what he did get is a lot of trophies. And, of course, Ben is trying to follow in that footsteps. And 20 minutes into this game against Malaga, after Ben missed that horrific chance in the last game to get his side the 3 points, he had a chance in this one, but this one wasn't as clear-cut, and it was a decent save from the goalkeeper there, which arguably, you know, on another day, maybe Ben should have squared that one, possibly to set up his teammate. But he finds Salvio on the right-hand side here. His shot is very kind of tame and weak. It's cleared away, but only as far as Casemiro, who actually puts his effort wide at that bottom corner. He's actually the captain today, is Casemiro, to his credit. So, yeah, new captain, I guess you could say. And it's one of those situations where I'm not, again, sure who on earth is delegating these roles out from Real Madrid's perspective. I mean, Casemiro's not a bad captain to have, but I thought, like, you know, there's a couple of players in this side that maybe would have got it ahead of him, possibly. You know, it's just one of them things. But you can see Malaga in the 66th minute winning a corner. It's punched away by Rico, and disaster. Absolute disaster. I have absolutely no sympathy for Ben again because, you know, although he's really good, although he's got tremendous quality, he makes far too many mistakes in areas of the pitch that he should not make them. This one is another one. Watch it back in this replay. I mean, I have to say, I looked at this and I don't quite know why Rashford is playing that ball to him. I don't know why Rashford is trying to chest that down to Ben. Why is he not just putting his foot through it and clearing it away? But then what on earth is Ben doing trying to pass it back to him? What an idiot. So when that happened, I was fuming, and I ultimately blamed Ben for it. I was like, I can't believe you just done that, mate. You know, we were unbeaten season, we're on a chance for it, and you've just done that. So he was trying to get themselves back in this one here. You can see he's trying to work his chances. Eventually he finds Davison Sanchez here, clear through, one-on-one. He slides in with a shot. It's a good save by the goalkeeper, and Madrid at this stage are heading for their first defeat in the league if they can't find a breakthrough. And it got even worse for them 90 minutes in. Malaga through. Santos somehow outmuscling his defender there. Tries to beat the goalkeeper through his legs. It comes back to him. Open goal. And he misses the target completely. So, luckily for Real Madrid, they didn't concede a second. But they did concede the only goal of the game. And it is a 1-0 defeat. So, that unbeaten season that we were talking about, that I spoke about, that I wanted for Ben and Real Madrid, it's done. And you can look at Ben's facial expression there and understand he knows exactly what he did wrong there. You cannot make a mistake like that at this level of football. If you make mistakes like that and let your team lose the game just from one mistake, it's not good enough. And you can see from his face how he kind of felt about that one. He really did kind of feel a little bit kind of, I guess, down in the dumps after that. I mean, there's not too much to be said other than the fact that that is a shocking mistake to make. And when you consider the fact that he missed that chance against Bilbao, to add to that, he then goes against Malaga and does that. Should he be dropped? You know, that's 2 mistakes in 2 games that one of them could have got you 3 points and the other one has dropped you points and also made you have your first defeat of the season. So he was dropped for the game against Lugo. You can see Copa de España, it is, of course, one of those games where maybe he wouldn't be playing anyway, but he was dropped in that one. It was a 2-2 draw, but then he was brought back into the side here for this game against Deportivo. So for Real Madrid, their unbeaten season is over, but of course, they're still challenging for the free trophies. So they still need to win their games. They can't just kind of take the foot off the gas now. They have to come back, and they have to come back with a message here. They have to go into this game against Deportivo, take no prisoners, and try and absolutely smash them. That's got to be their aim, because they need some confidence. They need some momentum to start building. Of course, their gap has kind of closed again. You can see Barcelona now 2 points behind. So luckily for Real Madrid, with their defeat to Malaga, Barca only drew their game. So they didn't manage to kind of come straight back. But one thing to note as well, guys, is that you're looking at this season. Last season, the same time, they'd only conceded around 4 or 5 goals in these games. Whereas all of a sudden this season, they're on 8 conceded after 16 games have been played. So it's this weird one because they've got a better defence than they did last year, yet they've conceded more goals. It's a strange one. But as I said, they've got to come into this game against Deportivo, take no prisoners, and try and absolutely trounce them. And within the first 5 minutes of the game, Ben decided, you know what, I'm going to show the world, show everybody that although I have made those mistakes recently, I am still the same player. He sets up Aubameyang here. You can see inside the first couple of minutes, lovely little disguise pass straight through. Initially comes off the post, but he reacts quickest as well, does the Gabonese international, to prod home with his foot there, you can see. And it is Real Madrid 1, Deportivo 0. And, you know, for Real Madrid, it's all about sending a message now. 18 minutes in, again, they're in control of this game completely. Deportivo not knowing what to do with themselves. Nice little pass from Ben. Ben straight through. Great block there from that defender. But it falls straight to someone who you don't want it to fall to in the form of Aubameyang. And he gets his second of the afternoon as well inside 20 minutes. On course for a hat-trick as well. What a finish that one is from him. But you have to say as well, maybe Ben could have done a little bit better with his strike. I mean, take nothing away from the defender. Sensational block. Wonderful, wonderful block from that defender. And it falls straight to Aubameyang and gets his 5th goal of the season so far. That's one thing as well, I guess you can say. Whenever Ben's in the side, I've noticed that the strikers at Real Madrid don't score, you know, a lot of goals. It's normally like the midfielders or the wingers that get the goals in the games where Ben plays. But yeah, he ends up with a chance here. I don't quite know what he was doing there. You can see he goes on a great run. He feeds kind of Rashford, but I don't know if he meant to do it. It was a weird touch, and it fell to Marcus Rashford, whose shot is well saved by the keeper. But then with 13 minutes to go, you can't step off him like that because the defender makes the mistake. He doesn't close him down. I don't know why he's stepping off him. It's not like a run was coming in from either side where he could have played the ball, and that's why he's stepping off. You can see he's got him. He's marking him one-on-one, and for some reason he steps off, allows him that time to take the extra touch to pick his spot out, and he ends up hitting it straight at the back of the net. And you can say that there isn't going to be many goalkeepers in world football that will make the save there. So Ben gets himself on the score sheet. It's Real Madrid 3, Deportivo 0. I spoke to you. I said it was about sending a message, and with 12 minutes remaining, they had a totally dominant performance, and they were 3-0 up in the game as the substitution was made there for Deportivo. It was an attacking change to their credit, so they did want to at least get a goal here, maybe a consolation. But I don't really understand why he made it so late in the game. You know, they were 3-0 down at this stage. Marcus Rashford steals the ball back from Deportivo. It just summed up their afternoon, really, as he went straight through, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he made the score 4-0 to the visitors. Message has been sent. They had a really poor performance against Malaga. They should have got at least something out of that game. Of course, Ben making the mistake to drop them points. But as soon as that was made, Rashford steals it back, 4-0. All they need now is a 5th goal and a clean sheet, and you can't really say it's been a better afternoon than possible. So Rashford with a great finish there, and again, Deportivo, I feel so bad for them because they met a Real Madrid side that had the determination and had to really put on a performance here. If they'd have met this Real Madrid side when they were, you know, 12 points clear at the top of the table, Real Madrid, and didn't, you know, kind of have anybody chasing them down, maybe it would have been a different game. But they had the pressure, Real Madrid. They had to show the league that they were meaning business even after dropping those points recently. So Deportivo, it's really horrific for them, but they can't really say too much other than this. When they get themselves a consolation in the last few minutes, it shouldn't have gone in. Defensively, again, for Madrid, they look so shaky comparing it to last year's defence. I don't know what it is. They have a slightly better defence, in my opinion, as well on paper, but it doesn't seem to be working that way in the league because they're conceding a few too many goals at the moment. Rico gets his hands to it, but can't keep it out, and Luis Fernandez will get them a consolation. And as you can see, that was the way the game ended. So it's a slightly disappointing way to end it because they did concede, so they don't get that clean sheet. But message was still sent, you know. Message sent in the aspect that they can create chances and they will cause you danger if you allow them to do so. 9.1 match rating from Ben. Again, though, Aubameyang steals the man of the match away from him with that extra 1 rating. Barca winning against Girona means that it has it's still 2 points between the top 2, I guess you could say. So we'll have to look forward to the next El Clasico, I guess, to decide the title there. Maybe we'll see. But as I said to you, you do have the World Player of the Year about to pop up on your screen. Sadly, it's right at the end of the video. But I guess we'll discuss it more in depth next episode and take a look at why maybe Gabriel Jesus has won Player of the Year. It has gone to the Manchester City forward. I don't know if you need to play Premier League football in order to get it. You know, half the season Ben was in the Premier League last year when he won it. Half the season he spent at Real Madrid. But that is how we end today's episode off. Player of the Year has gone to Jesus. It's not back-to-back for Ben, unfortunately. As I said, we'll look at it next episode maybe and see why he has won it. He's a very good forward at 90 rated, but regardless. That's it for today's episode, guys. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you for your continued support. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all again at 4 p.m. UK time tomorrow for yet another video. Catch you all then. Adios.